Hello. Welcome back. This is Ro Carter with blackfilm.com. This is Rewind with Ro. I'm your host, Ro Carter, and my amazing co-host, Rob Smith. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. We were just together. I'm sad.
It's been like a month. I think it's been a month. It's been a long time. So I apologize. We apologize to people. Come around Oscar season, Rob is a very tough guy to get in touch with because everything's just going on in his life, and he's in LA, so he's got to do a million things at once. So he's only one person, only has two hands, and so he does what he does.
Standing.
Yes, but now we're back. We're back, everybody, and so we decided to do two things today. Going to do a little recap because we were at the Oscars. If you're not following blackfilm.com, I don't know what you're doing, but you would see we posted some pictures from the event. So we were with our lovely. What would you call Donna?
Writer, contributed, /publicist.
Okay, Donna. There you go. So it was Donna does everything under the sun as well. So it was me, Rob, Donna. I am behind the scenes. They are actually the face. I'm trying to get better looking so I could be the face inside, but they're the beauty inside. And so they get to see what's happening on real time. I'm behind the scenes. So after someone wins the award, they speak to the foreign press and the domestic press as well, and then you can ask them questions if you're lucky. But when you work for blackfilm.com, it's tough because when only one black person wins, it's hard to do that. So that's a whole nother thing. I digress. But anyway, how are you, Rob? How you been?
I've been great. I can't complain. I'm shameless plug. I booked another movie. Listen, I'm gonna keep hustling out here in these streets, okay? So you might catch me on a couple Tubi movies.
That's fine. Just don't forget the little people, Rob. Just don't forget the little people.
Never, Ro. Never.
Rob's gonna leave us real quick. Rob's like, man, I'm one episode away. I'm not talking about ass anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I have other things in my life. I don't need this. All right.
And I do have. If you hear banging around in the background, it's because I have a 4-month-old puppy. My friend Jason surprised me and got me a puppy because my boxer passed away like a year and a half ago. So now I have this beautiful boxer puppy here, and she's like banging around.
So two things. If someone buys you a puppy, right, and it's a friend, they have to know like you're ready for another dog.
There was probing going on. Everyone was probing, like, "Oh, are you ready? Do you want a dog? Do you want another dog?" So everybody had been probing, trying to see if I was ready for another dog. And I kept going back and forth. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready," and then I was like, "No, maybe I'm not ready." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready." So every other day it would change.
Because it's one thing to mourn the loss of the dog, but now you have a responsibility. Like you've been chilling for a little bit. No, you don't have to wake up. You're waking up on your schedule, kind of doing what you got to do. But now you have the responsibilities of another thing. You're like, oh, do I want to take that on again?
Exactly. But it's exactly that. But as soon as you have a dog, you're like, yeah, I'm in love.
Okay. All right.
Immediately you fall in love. Immediately.
There you go. All right. So try something new. Step out there. And that's the only thing going on in your life?
Yeah.
All positive. It's still cold out there. It was chilly. Oscar weekend. Woo!
It's still cold. It was like 43 degrees last night. I was like, what is going on?
I was telling people, I was like, yeah. So how was LA? And I was like, cold. They're like, get out of here. I'm like, freezing. Like like you're in the desert. Like it just dropped. Thursday was nice. Friday during the day, but then Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, Oscars. Everybody got these little outfits on. Like, oh Lord. Yes.
That's why I was like, you looked really warm because you had on the velvet tie and the jacket. And me trying to be sexy, I had no shirt on with the.
Rob just had a little tank top on, like he going to the club later.
Double-breasted jacket. I was trying to be smooth.
What was a club back in the day in New York? He going to the 70s. He's going to a crazy club. He's like, yeah, man, I'm in. I'm gonna get in. I'm just taking my jacket. That's it. I'm gonna be hot all night.
Gotta look the part. Gotta look like I'm ready for that Oscars red carpet.
That's it. So, what was your experience like at the Oscars this year? You've gone consistently. How many years have you gone now?
I've gone 4 years, and then 1 year I was out of the country, so I couldn't go. So a total of 5 invites, but I've gone 4 times.
Consecutive 4 though, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, I went once, then couldn't go, and then I went 3 times.
So 3 straight. Okay, 3 straight. So you were there for the fight night. You were there for the slap of Will Smith.
No, that's the one I missed.
Oh wow, that's the one you missed. Okay.
Wait, so maybe I'm out of order. I may have done like two, missed one.
Yeah. You're a little out of okay. So you're doing that. So how is this? So that was the first Black experience, by the way, right? That one that you missed.
Yeah, because it was directed by Will Packer. That one was the one that Will Packer directed. It.
So that was all blackety black.
Family.
Yes, and so now this one, hosted by Conan O'Brien, who has doing his own private podcast. Conan was late night television host for a long time. I mean, back in the day, where it was like late night, and then he was supposed to get, what's that called? The Late Show, and then all that happened, all that went down, and so he had to kind of find himself again, which I kind of like because you got Conan kind of being who he wants to be and traveling the world. And I followed him on his podcast is really good too. So it's funny. So all those kind of mannerisms that he has, because he's so tall and he's redhead. So he has all these kind of things that are quirky and that people respond to. So I thought he did a great job in opening. The song and dance, I could have gone without, but it wasn't as annoying that I was like, oh God, what is this? It was decent enough. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But everything else though, I thought was on point. He was hilarious. He talked to everybody out there in the crowd and kind of played on everybody. I was like, oh, we going there? So we had a lot of fun. He's like, I've lawyered up already. I'm good. What did you think from your perspective? I'm watching behind, so mine was on a delay a little bit. What did you think about in real time?
It was phenomenal. I'm going to embarrass myself a little bit. I can't lie. I turned to Donna and I was crying when they did the whole Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, like the history of like the Wizard of Oz, then The Wiz, and then Wicked. It was like beautiful. That was in nice. Person. It was really impactful and it was really beautiful, especially like them, especially incorporating The Wiz. I thought it was important, like and beautiful that they did that, especially with this being the year that Quincy, like right post Quincy Jones passing away, and his influence with that film. So it was a tear, like it was like one or two little tears, like it wasn't too many. But it was like very heartwarming. It was a beautiful way to open the show, and I was not expecting them to open with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. So that to me was like really nice. It was a nice moment.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The songs were really nice. Yeah, everything had a good flow and a good pace, which I like. It wasn't too long. Like it didn't, sometimes it feels like annoyingly long. Like, oh God, get this over with. I felt like there was a good tempo, a good balance.
Mm-hmm. And it's always interesting watching it from the perspective of being in the audience because they changed that stage over so fast. It is such
really. So we don't get to see that. They black. So when we're in the press room, we only see it when it goes live because then the people come up on stage after they win their award and they speak to the press and stuff like that. So then it just kind of cuts off. Sometimes it plays, but if you guys go to commercial, it just goes black. So when Domingo was like having fun, you talk about that a little bit too. We could hear Domingo having fun, but we couldn't see it. And I was like, wow, we want to see it. Everyone's like, come on. And he's like, let's do some shots, everybody. Let's dance. And I'm like, what the hell? So for people that don't know, during one of the commercial breaks, what's his first name again? Sorry.
Colvin Domingo.
Yeah, Colvin Domingo. He got nominated as well. Did not win, unfortunately, for Sing Sing, but he was asked to come up on stage and he was like getting everybody to dance and have a good time. And so Rob saw it in real time. What was that experience like?
It was great because they have when the commercial breaks happen, you have like 60, I don't know how long you have, maybe like 60 seconds or whatever it is. Everybody's like making a mad dash to go to the bathroom. So it's like, everybody's like, oh Lord, I have to go. But like right when you go out there, the bars are out there and they had the little Don Julio shots were ready for everybody in the little bottles. So he did a little toast. So it was fun. Everybody ran out, grabbed their little bottle to do a toast and did it with him. So it was fun. It was great.
Nice. Anything else that really stood out to you? Were any upsets that you were like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that person won? Or any speeches that you were like, oh my God, that really resonated with me, or that was a proud moment?
Yeah, there was some, of course, Paul Tazewell, who was the first Black man to win an Oscar for costume design. He's only the second Black person to win after Ruth Carter, who won for Black Panther, and then she won again.
I interviewed her.
Yes, nice. You sure did. And
nice
she's the first Black person to win 2 consecutive Oscars for the same category. So she won for Black Panther, and then she won for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And then he is now the first Black man to win in the costume design category. So his speech was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment for him to make history. And then also Zoe Saldana, who came up, and then she was the first Dominican American to win an Oscar. So I didn't know if she was going to win or not, and I thought that it was a beautiful moment. I thought
The room didn't believe that she was going to win either. They had what's the name winning? What's her name for the Substance?
Oh, Demi Moore.
They had Demi Moore. Yeah, it's Best Supporting, right? Demi Moore, Best Supporting.
Demi Moore was performance by an actress.
They had what's the name from Wicked winning.
Ariana Grande?
No. What's the name was nominated as well?
Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah, Cynthia Erivo was nominated as well.
Demi Moore would have won for Best Actress, but she didn't.
Sorry. So they had they didn't have her winning it all though.
Yeah, I know. It was a kind of a surprise but it was a beautiful moment. I was super happy for her because interesting little tidbit about me. The first film project I ever worked on, I was an extra. I was a featured extra on Drumline. So I worked on the film for the entirety of the shooting for 3 months when I lived in Atlanta.
Drumline?
Yeah, and I was
Drumline.
I was his stand-in for half of the film. And
get out of here!
I was the cymbal player. If you go back and watch, you'll see.
How do we not know this?
Because it's not on my profile. But
why is that on your profile? What?
So I was screaming for her because I was very happy because I got to see her, actually up close and personal.
That is fine. Young is always Saldana on that movie. That was, man, I'll never forget watching. I was like, damn, I gotta move to Atlanta.
Exactly. It was great. So I was super happy for it. And she had a lot of drama post winning drama that I thought was unnecessary. Let her have her moment. Let her enjoy the glory of being in this moment. So I thought that was great.
You gonna forgive her for her other film?
Oh, don't even bring it up.
Okay, all right.
She's Afro Latina, so
all right. I'm just.
That was a lot. That was a little much, but we're gonna give her grace. She's shot so many phenomenal projects. She's such a phenomenal actress, and I think that she should be. I'm glad she was honored for the level of her work. Her performance in that film, and Emilia Perez was phenomenal. She had the choreography, the singing.
She worked for that film. It was like going to a Jay-Z and Beyonce concert, and like no one else is working with Jay-Z. Just Beyonce. And she had like 20 outfit changes, and hey, you know what? Why don't we do a sing and dance in this film right here? I was like, what? She was doing everything, We're gonna have you be bilingual, sing and dance, act, and we need some tears as well, excitement, fear, all that. I'm like, damn, girl, I hope you got paid for that. She got the Oscar. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to add to Paul Tazewell. He spoke. That's the gentleman who won, first black man to win costume design for Wicked. He had a very heartfelt speech. You can also see that on the Oscar page. I think we put it on our page as well. But it was a really good time. He was so gracious and just generous about offering, like, hey, how would someone get into this, and how he went about his career. He's like, it's tough, man. And I couldn't believe that the first black man in hit that's crazy.
It's still crazy that we have so many firsts. It's like,
yes. The first Asian. The last time I went, it was like you're kind of all over the place. So I kind of like it's kind of all over the place for me because when I was in that room, it's become such a universal thing where it was more of an American thing. So the only thing that still stays American is like best actor, best actress, best supporting actor, best supporting actress, and then sometimes best film. But otherwise, it's the world is taking all the other awards, and so it's a good mix. But it kind of, I don't know if it loses its luster in terms of what Hollywood was. Does that make sense?
Mm. I think it's just. I think it's.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like what used to be old school Hollywood, it was like, like the stars of stars were coming out, and so it didn't feel like that. At least in this round, it felt a little more watered down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think it's like we're starting to see like the talent globally shining, which I think is beautiful because there's so many beautiful stories to be told all around the world. And I think this is that night where we get to shine a spotlight on some of those films that people probably would have never heard of had they not been nominated for an Academy Award. So I think it's one of those beautiful moments where we're starting to see so many films that are like quality stories and beautiful filmmaking, with people bringing new approaches to filmmaking and, just starting to see the skill from other places. So I think it's great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I had a good time. We met up afterwards. We had some dinner afterwards. Had a good time. Took some pictures. They were locking down the red carpet this time. So normally I was able to walk around. In the beginning, they were like, "No, sir, where are you going?" And I was like, "Well, I was gonna go walk around." And they were like, "No, sir, you can't do that." So on my way out, I walked around the building. I still had my pass on, and I went through some back curtain. And the security guy looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm in a tux. I'm good, right? I'm walking." I was like, he didn't say no yet. "Hey, keep walking till they say, sir, where you going?" And I looked like I worked, I had my bag, so black bag, kind of throwing it off. But I looked around and I had my Meta glasses. By the way, I don't want to go into. I plugged Meta the whole night, but the Meta glasses are different function for like shows and stuff we were doing. So I got to see John Lithgow, which is pretty cool because I was a big fan of his back in the day. One of my favorite movies is with him and Denzel Washington. It's a great. If you haven't seen it, it's the original Face Off. So if you've ever seen the movie, but it's a really good movie. And then I saw Tina Fey and a couple other actresses that were there. So it was really like a cool, like to be involved in the mix of people walking around. I mean, these guys are sitting amongst them. But for me, I'm the outside. So when I came in, I was like, woo, big for me. And I was warm because there was heat in there. It was really cold outside. So, anyway, had a great experience. Our goal is to get me on the red carpet next year. Probably in the corner behind a pillar because that you got to work your way up. But that's the goal for next year and try to get some people and get it going. So I really like the growth that we're going. Black film is here to stay and moving. Got right. Networking in there, networking. any last moment you want to add?
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that's really that I really enjoy about the night is it's so accessible. Like you walk into the experience and literally like everyone is mingling together. So I walked in and I'm like walking up the red carpet. I'm walking up the red carpet to go into the theater next to like Lena Waithe and Jeremy Pope, and then Mindy Kaling was right there having conversations and taking photos. It's just it's a really beautiful, fun experience, and honored that we have the opportunity to do it.
There you go. So thank you, the Academy, and thank you, BlackFilm.com, for all the things you do. Yes. Okay, that's it. All right, great. Now let's move on. We are back to movies and reviewing movies. This one, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this because there's a lot of haters out in the world. But Captain America: Brave New World. Our Captain America is black, and it's kind of like when the brother grabbed a lightsaber in the new Star Wars movies, and people lost their minds. This is somewhat happened again. People have lost their minds, and they were like, what is going on? If you did follow the comic books, though, you idiots, you would know that that's what happens in the comic book. So it's not like they're just pulling it out of the air, and it's a DEI hire, by the way, okay? There's been some time and thought into this. So we are now catching up with, after they did the show on Disney, if you haven't seen that yet, it is with Bucky and Sam Wilson. And now they're slowly transitioning Sam Wilson's kind of power into being the new Captain America, even though he's fighting that because he's Falcon. And so you kind of see that where it's picking up from there. I really was going into this movie with a lot of hate because this came out like the beginning of February. So I heard just negative things, reviews on TV and looking at Instagram, and I was like, everybody's just hating on this film. By the way, this film is about to break a record, by the way. So just to show you the haters are out there, I watched the film. I actually enjoyed this film. So for all the haters out there, give it a chance because it actually is a good film. There's one or two things I'm like, okay, I don't know about that, but otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good film for the Marvel universe, and it's not like all over the place. It's true to the story. They bring in some old characters, some from Civil War, some from one of the old Hulk movies. There's a lot of cameos. Harrison Ford killed it. You have some senior actors in there as well. So before we go a deep dive into that, what did you think about this film going into it?
I was super excited. One, because the director is Black, Julius Ona, and he made history again as, I believe, only the 5th Black film director who had a box office film make over 100 million in that opening, grossing over 100 million. So like I was super excited for that. So I was ready to, and I thought, of course, I knew Anthony Mackie was going to do a great job. So I had high hopes going into it. I knew it was going to be great. I was worried, as I am always with superhero movies. I'm like, am I gonna fall asleep if it's too long? With any like fantasy film or superhero
Those
movie.
Transformer movies, they just battle for like 2 hours. Like, man, come on, man, we could have ended this an hour ago.
But it actually kept my attention the entirety of the film. So I was extremely impressed and enjoyed it all the way through.
Nice. So, basically, Anthony Mackie's character is being asked by the new president if he can bring the Avengers back together. We find that leads into a setup, and there's all this stuff behind the scenes of what Harrison Ford's character dealt with back in the day. So he was originally a general. They pick up from the 2008 film The Hulk. And so they had to recast because, unfortunately, the gentleman who played that character before had passed away. So he plays Thaddeus. And so he is now shaven because he had a big mustache in the original film. So now he's become president. And so we kind of find out his past of what he's been doing. Anthony Mackie's character, Sam Wilson, doesn't really trust him. And so he goes to the original Captain America. There was a black Captain America that you would see in the Disney show. And so he had all the powers of Captain America, but he was black and fought in the Korean War and saved other black soldiers. And then they imprisoned him. And so he was in prison for 30 years. And due to that, he was like, I don't trust this government at all. So I'd be careful what you get into. And he's like, man, it's 2025. I know what I'm getting into. I won't trust him, but we have to have conversations. That's the only way we can move forward. But he's like, man, I don't know. And then that leads into something bigger. I really love the creation and bringing in, like, it was a black story, which I love. You know, they didn't water it down and be like, hey, well, we got to do this for this. They kept it real to even the Secret Service female was black. And I was like, oh, shoot, we got a Secret Service black female? So the one thing that kept on resonating with me in this film is we did a show a long time. It was like, what was that show, that documentary? It was like Saving Bill Cosby. What was the documentary called? Being Bill, about Bill Cosby doing his thing.
I don't remember the name of the documentary.
It was something Bill Cosby, and it was a documentary. And so what I learned in that documentary, besides all the awful stuff, is the one positive thing is he was the original person that got black stunt men and women. And before that, they would put all these white guys in blackface. So when I was looking at these movements, I was like, wow, there's so much choreography and movements in this and action that I was like, oh my God, there were so many jobs for black stunt men and women in this that that's what really was like a beautiful thing to see. Because I saw these moves, I was like, Anthony Mackie ain't moving like that. His hips are tight. I could tell his hips are tight. He ain't moving like that. And so shout out to definitely, I don't know any of the cast of that who were the stuntmen and women, but shout out to black stuntmen and women that really helped out with this Marvel film and that have done that for, Wakanda, all those films as well. It's a Black Panther film. So I really wanted to give a shout out to them because this was, seamless in terms of, it's also the bar you have to be raised to, right? Of stunts, especially for a superhero movie. And so they really did it well because once you fall off just a little bit, it's like, see, this is what we can't give no money for a film now and all this stuff. So I really love that. Any things that really stood out to you and the storyline across?
Yeah, I again, I think you meant. Why are you judging me? I had a little bit of a stutter. I really enjoyed the introduction of Carl Lumbly. I believe that's his name.
Yes, Carl Lumbly was the original. He played Isaiah Bradley,
and he was
the original Captain America.
Right, and he was one of the super soldiers. His character in this film was like a super soldier who they kind of use.
Yes, they manipulate these soldiers to do their bidding.
So yeah, I thought that was great. I'm not super familiar with the history of the comics. I didn't read them in totality. I probably have some in my room in the stack of comics I have from childhood.
But I got some money in there. I'm just saying.
I might have some money sitting around. But I enjoyed that storyline. I really liked because it gave Captain America an actual mission, because his real mission in this whole scenario was to prove his innocence and to really free him. So it really drove him forward in the progression of the film. And Also, Giancarlo Esposito. It was great to see him.
Yeah, shout out to him. He always plays a good. I was gonna do that. The characters in here that you named Carl Lumpy, who played Isaiah Bradley. There's a guest appearance by Liv Tyler. I was like, oh wow, we're going deep in the bag. Even Bucky. Oh, sorry, we're gonna give away some stuff. Bucky makes a guest appearance as well, which is great. Giancarlo Esposito plays Seth Volker. And Danny Ramirez, which is the young sidekick. Shout out to this young Latin brother. He almost stole the show. He was really good. His comedic timing, the banter that they had back and forth with Anthony Mackie's character. Sometimes it's hard to make that work on screen, especially when you're bringing in a new person, because he had history of the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier with Bucky's character, so you're like, oh, we're gonna let it. So not only did you take Captain America, you replaced him with this, but now you're gonna replace Falcon as well. Come on, man, you can't do all that. And so that was a really good balance of how they let this. And shout out to my Latina people. A little disappointed out of you voting, but we won't talk about that. But shout out again. It's my opinion. Not blackfilm.com is my opinion, but. Shout out because the brothers represented on the screen. So that was a big plus to see that and just the balance of that.
And then, like you said, I believe I don't want to butcher her name, but I think it's Zosha Rockmore. She's the Secret Service agent that you were speaking of. Yes. But she's, she pops up in just about everything. She's been everywhere and in everything. And her role wasn't massive, but it was like integral to the progression of the film.
She was on screen more than that's a good that's a check.
It was. But I mean, she wasn't like one of the superheroes flying around.
But I questioned that. I was like, really?
You're like, is she gonna pop off for something later? You never know. You never know.
We have another black woman on. Yes. So this movie. So they find vibranium, and the only disappointment in this film is that they don't explain how this vibranium island really comes to be. Did I miss that?
It's adamantium.
I saw. Sorry, you're right. So right, adamantium. That's what's in Wolverine's body. Yes, thank you for correcting me. But my point is that we all knew what I was talking about.
Well, you brought up vibranium, but
but it's stronger than vibranium, which I didn't know adamantium was stronger than
either.
And right? I thought vibranium was stronger than adamantium, but okay.
But I did love that Wakanda made Captain America's suit as a thank you. I love that.
Yes. I don't like how they had to one up us now. They're like, oh yeah, you think your vibranium's good? Well, check out my adamantium. Ooh, look at that.
They were so disrespectful to the
right. It was like oh, vibranium
for themselves. I'm like, oh my god,
we don't need. Oh yeah, right. And the way Harrison Ford was like, some people don't want to share everything.
Keep it out of your hands because you guys will do what you're doing now for the adamantium. That's why.
And so the island that they were saying that it came out of nowhere is it has like a hand of God, like two big hands and then a big statue. And I'm like, are we not going to discuss what this is? Like it just landed and we're not. So that's the only knock I have in this film. I was like, can you explain how this big monstrous thing is just came to be? Like no background whatsoever. I'm like trying to find out.
I'm sure it's going to be explained in the next one.
Yeah, but I'm like, you can't do a whole film, but this is the thing that they're going to discuss. And then like, we can't, like, how did it happen to be? Like, come on, guys. Let's storytelling. And then we also encountered the first Red Hulk appearance. Red Hulk, the only thing I can knock on Red Hulk, great job, but the Hulk normally has to learn what its capabilities are. And so Harrison Ford's Red Hulk already knew what it could do, right? He was like jumping all over the place and Hulk smash. Like the Hulk had to learn that he had all these capabilities. So that's my only knock on that. Like he was doing moves that like were like, are you kidding me? Fight scenes. It's kind of like when they do a prequel to Star Wars and like they weren't fighting like this with lightsabers. Like, well, we got to make it better for everybody. I'm like, the original Hulk didn't know what he could do until later, how strong he really was. There was also a lot of people complaining about how Anthony Mackie's character was able to take all the hits from the Hulk. And I have to remind people that they gave him a suit and that absorbs all that. So that's why he was able to do that. But I remember some people on Instagram going crazy, like, how the hell is the Hulk not, now he's not strong enough anymore? They made Hulk all weak now. Like, because Anthony Mackie should be able to take the hits. Captain America should be able to take the hits. And it's because he has the suit that they gave him and absorbs all that power and energy.
And that's why, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but that's why, in that fight scene, it's like he could have finished him. He made it very clear. He's like, this could be the circumstance,
Now there's a scene, and they wanted to use the N-word. Did you pick up that scene?
What scene was that?
So the assistant, the secret agent, the black girl we were talking about earlier, the secret agent to Harrison Ford's character, President, she was like, "Hey, don't be that guy."
I don't think that. Come on,
bro. Come on, man. He was like, "Oh, that guy." He's like, and then he said, "Well, I am that guy." I'm just saying.
But
play on words.
I'll let you roll with that.
And then Harrison Ford's like, he called him boy. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I hate when people call me buddy, and I was like,
oh, he said boy. He didn't say buddy. He said boy.
I'm saying, for me, buddy is a trigger, so boy would just push me.
Buddy's a trigger for you?
Yes. Don't call me buddy.
Really?
Buddy? Do I look like a 13-year-old? Hey, buddy.
Is like, buddy? In that context, the way you use it, yes, that was very disrespectful.
That's how buddy? It always comes out.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
hey, buddy. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Probably older than you.
What about that pitch? What's up, buddy?
Still.
Really? Is it depending on the skin color that's saying buddy to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Usually, yeah. I mean, that's the only people who usually call me buddy. It just feels a little.
There's a great breakout moment for Anthony Mackie when I call it the Will Smith moment, when in Bad Boys, did you ever see the original? And he's running down the street, and then his chest is open up, the shirt is unbuttoned, and everyone's like, that's when he became a star. So Anthony Mackie has this moment where he's panned to the camera, and then he hits the shield, and it goes into his shoulder, and he says, boom. And I was like, oh, shit!
That was his big superhero moment.
Yeah, I was like, that's a superhero moment. Like, they do like superhero landing? That was his superhero moment. So I was like, okay, I like this. Representing, he did a great job. The only thing that disappoints me sometimes with his character is that he reminds me of Obama a little bit. Like, he's always trying to be politically correct. Like, he doesn't want to be like, I could kill you, but I'm not that guy. I'm like, well, you're going to get killed not being that guy. Him and Giancarlo were going at it. I'm like, you're going to die because you don't want to you could kill this guy 2 seconds ago.
That's what I was like, just
kill him.
I hate when they choose not to.
I'm not about that. I am about doing the right thing, and we won't kill anybody here. Like, you keep getting your ass kicked. And
he told you, he's like, if and when I get out, I'm going to kill you. Like, it's like, just kill him.
That's what I'm saying. And they already know your move. They already know. I was already told that you're not going to even kill me. So now I have more reason to like go all crazy. I'm like, that's so I kind of wish he was that that ninja. Be like, yo, really? Pop, pop. That's it. I can't. That would have been a moment like the real Captain America. Keeping it 100. That's it. I would take a spin-off like a dark Captain America in a second.
Let's do it. I would love to see it too.
We'll cast Rob as a sidekick.
Hey, you put that in the universe from your lips to God's ears.
I'm just saying, it would be like one of those ghetto. What was that ghetto movie with Townsend back in the day? The Green Plant. Remember? He had the superpowers. That movie back in the day. You don't remember? You're too young. Anyway,
I'll remember later. It'll come to me later.
Overall, what did you think about the storyline?
I thought the storyline was great. I thought they did a good job of like bringing in all the right elements. That's why I really loved that Captain America had a drive that was outside of just saving the universe. It was really personal to him, and I thought that really helped propel the story forward. And also his desire to protect Danny Ramirez's character, because he really was like treating him with kid gloves to make sure that he didn't get hurt, because he knew how like eager he was to be successful and funny, and he was really doing a good job to protect him. And at the same time, I do like that Captain America is sympathetic to like the people around him. So though we see Harrison Ford's character as the president kind of taking this dark path, he still like wants to safeguard him too. So there were a lot of elements where Captain America was like battling to save people and to save, you know, the world as a whole. So it was great.
And that's also, it got political as well, kind of similar to what, you know, our current political environment is now. It's like, what does Captain America represent, right? And so the original Captain America, same thing. Is like, I'm not even though I was made by the government, I'm not a hitman for hire. You know, I do what's right for the people, for Americans. You know, not for you, the one person. And so I kind of love that argument with Sam's character, like just fighting, like, hey, you know what? I'm not a hitman for hire either. You know, that's what we stand on. We're doing the right thing. Even though in Civil War and other things, they're battling each other later down the line or earlier before that. So you kind of see, you know, where the loyalties are and kind of keeping the people in power in check. Like, you know, hey, I know you let me do my thing, but you're not going to get away with it, you know, so be careful. Exactly. The movie I was thinking of was Meteor Man.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Of course, I remember Meteor Man. It's just been so long.
Yes, but that's why I said. And then Blank Man was the other one. We could do a good Blank Man spinoff.
Oh yeah,
that's that's the talent we're at right now. We're not Marvel. We're more like a B budget kind of superhero movie. That's what we would do. Blank Man.
It's probably coming. I'm sure it's coming. You know, they like to revitalize the everything once it hits about 25, 30 years. They bring it back.
Well, no one saw this before. Let's mix it up.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think of anything else that kind of stood out for me. The good storylines, again, because they're bringing up old storylines and bringing it all together with a tight little bow. Acting was great. The action was really good. You really get to see his character use, similar to what the original Captain America, the shield was his weapon, right? And so now he's got his wings and kind of like it's like Captain America on steroids that can fly. You know, it's like all these things at once. So the things that Captain America is lacking in, like he had all the superpower. Mackie's character kind of makes up for it with the vibranium suit. Also the help of the little machines that kind of help him out as well.
Yeah. And
he also has a sidekick. So it's really a well-balanced film with great action. So you're like, you know, no matter who you are, you're like, oh man, this is great. There wasn't a moment like I wanted to get up and like, oh man, okay, I'm going to use the bathroom right now. I was like tied in.
Now that you say that there were so many elements that were pulled into it where it could have been done poorly, but it really was done well because you had the battle scenes in the air, you had the battle scenes on the ground where they weren't flying, you had him and his sidekick fighting together, you had him using the assistance of his robots, you had him, you know, fighting the Hulk, the Red Hulk. There was a lot going on, but it was well balanced and it was done very well. I really don't understand why people are so upset about. I guess I do understand why they're so upset about it. It has nothing to do with actual film; it just has to do with the race of the character. But it was. I thought it was very well done.
Nice, yeah. Like I said, I would recommend checking out and seeing it. I'm interested to see where Marvel goes from this now. Like, what is the new drive, and you know, getting new films now because they've had this like peaks and valleys of the last couple of films. So trying to see that balance of like, I think this is a great way to kind of, all right, now we're back to like ground zero. Now let's get back in the car. Let's drive. So this is a great film to see with friends, family, kind of just laugh and have a good time. I had a pizza. I was sat down there. You know, wasn't too crazy. Pepperoni.
You know what? I had vegan chicken nuggets and fries.
They make vegan chicken nuggets now at the movie theater?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Did you bring them in? Did you bring them in a plastic bag?
No, they sell them there. They sell them there.
What movie are you going to, Rob?
Even though I eat meat now, but
and no damn well ain't no one selling vegan chicken nuggets at the movie theater. What movie theater are you going to?
AMC. I have the movie.
AMC don't sell no vegan chicken nugget. Get out of here.
They don't do that in Miami, maybe, but
they're not vegan. I'm telling you, they sell chicken nuggets. They ain't no vegan chicken nuggets.
It's Impossible Nuggets. It's the vegan nuggets. Now we're plug for them, but
okay. All right. Well, we need Impossible Nuggets here. Were they good at least?
Yeah, they're very good. They're really good.
My girlfriend can't have gluten, so she gets the gluten-free nuggets. Those are actually really good. You don't feel like the grease and stuff from like you normally would.
Mm-hmm. There you go. See?
Really? All right. And they give you nutritional information too, everybody. Right. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Good to know.
Anything you want to add, Rob?
No, I think that's it. Like you said, go see it, support it. It's already done very well at the box office. It has a Black director at the helm. It has Anthony Mackie, Carl Lumbly. Of course, Harrison Ford was phenomenal. Danny Ramirez, Zosha Rockmore. It's just a well-rounded cast. Giancarlo Esposito. So it's a fun watch, fun for families, fun for a date night, fun for friends to just go out and see it as a group for a movie night. It was really, really fun. And I think I do recommend people see it in a movie theater and not wait till it's on a streaming platform.
Yeah, I almost like, can I buy this at home? Then I was like, no, I don't want to miss it. And I'm so glad I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. You might as well go to the movie theaters. Get an AMC ticket pass, $25 a month. You can see unlimited tickets. 3 movies a week. See 3 movies a week. And you can see any movie. You can see 4D, 3D. You can do whatever you want. It's crazy.
For the price of one movie.
That's it. What are we talking about? No brainer. Rob, big question of the night, because we missed you. Haven't seen you do this in a while. What are you going to give this film, Rob? Come on, baby.
I am going to give this beautiful film a 10 out of 10.
Get out of here. 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. It's going to 10
wow,
out of 10.
I didn't see that. 10 out of 10? Where would you place this in the Marvel films?
That's a tougher question. I need to sit down.
Is it on the? Well, you don't have to go through like the whole. But is it at the bottom or is it like in the middle?
It's a Captain America film. I don't know how to.
You can give this film a 10. You can give this film a 10.
I don't know.
Me you can place it again. I don't need the like exactly. Like, is it in the middle or is it at the bottom?
No, I think it's
including like Ant-Man. I'm including all the other like spinoffs, all that stuff.
Like middle, upper middle. Again, I think because there's so much action and so much new experience in this film with him flying and using the shield and having a sidekick, and it's just a lot going on. But it's really, really well done. It was all of it was captured in a way that was not overwhelming, and you didn't feel like they're throwing too much at you. And also, like you said, like really building the climate of what was going on in the world, which is kind of scarily resonates a little too close to home right now, with America becoming like the enemy of all of our allies. It was really interesting to see all of that.
To America?
It was really well done. So yeah,
come to America. Anybody remember R. Kelly was just going crazy? He was just singing that. Anyway, I wanted to add this last thing. This is from the Collider. I was reading this article. So Brave New World has earned $167 million at the domestic box office and $178 million internationally for a worldwide total of $345 million. While enough to pass the Incredible Hulk, this $167 million still falls around $9 million short of Captain America: The First Avenger. So the debut Captain America movie that introduced Chris Evans the first time, Star Spangled Banner Man in 2010. If Brave New World can make just $9 million more, it would break that. So that's huge for a Black film. So hey, we're out there. I didn't feel like the energy like I did for Wakanda,
because right? I don't think they marketed it as a Black film, and I don't think they should.
Really?
But I think because it's not. I think he's a Black character that stepped into the shoes of Captain America. So I don't think they should have marketed it like Black Panther is
for all of us. Yeah. Okay. I get that. But interesting.
So, but I do think that we should rally around, a Black director and a Black lead in a superhero film, of course. But I think the Wakanda movement was just something a little bit different.
You felt that. You felt shoot. You were, man. You walked in there like, man, did I leave my dashiki at home? What's going on here?
And that's another thing about this film too that I really enjoyed, and I meant to bring this up, is that it showed the world in a way that it really exists. When you walk outside, you don't just see a sea of the same people. You see diversity. Like one of the Secret Service she was Israeli, and then you had a Black Secret Service agent, and then you have Latino people who exist among us. So the diversity of the film, and you have women in positions of power, you have men in positions of power, you
Not
have,
anymore.
but
Not
again,
anymore.
we still do, but we're trying to create a world where that doesn't. We're trying to create a world that doesn't look like it actually should. And I
Rob,
think
if it ain't white, it ain't right, Rob.
but that was the beauty.
That should be the president's new slogan. If it ain't white, it ain't right.
Right. But you know, that was the beauty of this film. Another thing that was beautiful about this film to me, they really did do a great job of casting it in a way that was reflective of what the world actually looks like.
I mean, again, I really felt with Carl Lumpy's character Isaiah Bradley, like even when he got arrested, I was like, that was deep, man. I felt it was an old black man, but he represented black folks, like, you know, what we've gone through, the trials and tribulations, being falsely accused, being in prison for all this time. Like, he represents so many things. So when you see him on the screen, I don't know if that resonates to everyone, but that really resonated to me. I was like, and he was like, hey, it's my suit. I got married in this suit. It was a nice suit. Put him on the ground, roughed him up. And I was like, whoo, I felt that moment. And I don't know. It's quick, but I hope people really get that and understand what that means. You know, there's nothing worse in the world by being falsely accused and being just abused and have to take this abuse for such a long period of time, and you're never forgiven that. And no one says, hey, you know what? We messed up. We apologize. We should have never done that to you. And so you have to wear that, you know, on your chest. And so pause. And so he did that. And I've been watching too much of what's the name in them, Mason and them. They pause and everything. So anyway, I digress. Good movie. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8. This guy's giving 10s out like nobody's business. Anyway, we missed Rob and his 10s. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We will be back at our normal time. I think Wednesdays still work.
No.
So welcome to my life, ladies and gentlemen. I just figure out what day Rob
I told you I have this on Wednesdays. I can't.
You never told me that. You never Rob, I don't
know.
know.
On Monday and Wednesday, I have a spar. I have boxing. It's a little difficult. And
after that is super rare?
Well, it's a boxing brand, yeah. We
want to see you punch next time. See how it's working.
I'm ready.
Okay. So Thursdays, are you still have your class? Tuesdays.
Could.
I don't need to hear could. What? It's a 3-hour time difference, Rob.
That's true. You want to hit the streets.
But I don't want to hit the streets. I mean.
Bro, you said you should be at the club right now. It's too early to be at the club, bro. It's 10 o'clock.
I'm old, Rob. I don't go to the club, Rob.
It's Miami. Nobody's out yet. Nobody goes out.
That's true. But when I go out, I'm literally home by 12 o'clock. When you get to this age, ain't nothing good happening after 12.
Well, you can still go get a nice sushi dinner with your girl, have a cocktail, and then come back home before midnight.
That's it.
But if you want to do Tuesdays, we'll figure it out.
Okay. I can do. I just want to do it any day we can do, Rob.
We don't have to have our scheduling session on live. Let's not do that.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. We'll figure that out. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's been another great day. Blackfill.com. I'm your host, Ro Carter. Rob Smith. See you next week, maybe. I don't know.